Welcome to Lunchtime Politics on Channels Television. I'm Kayode Okikulu here in Lagos, and these are the major political stories making the rounds at this hour. All eyes on the National Assembly as it begins budget defense for the appropriation bill submitted by President Bola Tinubu late last year. He said it has 24 days to finish the process. And then to the exchange between the All Progressives Congress and the Labour parties, Mr. Peter Obi, over his New Year message. Was there a threat to life from Mr. Felix Morka, the APC spokesperson? Well, we'll bring you all those stories on the show. Begin from the nation's capital, the seat of power, where the National Assembly has set a deadline of January the 31st for the passage of the 2025 appropriation bill as it begins budget defense sessions today. Well, the committees on appropriation from the two chambers, that's the Senate and the House of Representatives, had separate meetings with the chairmen of standing committees to discuss the process of passing the budget. President Bola Tinubu had on December the 18th presented almost 50 trillion naira budget to a joint session of the National Assembly here. Our National Assembly correspondent Gloria Mezoke reports.
Barely 1 week into the new year, lawmakers who had embarked on recess for the Yuletide immediately after President Bola Tinubu laid before them the proposed 49.7 trillion naira 2025 budget resumed to begin work in earnest. Committees from the two chambers hold separate meetings with chairmen of standing committees to discuss the timetable for the budget passage process.
The first thing we have succeeded in doing is to ensure that the hard copy of this document was given to all committee chairmen as their working document. And this is to enable the committees to invite all the MDAs to defend whatever has been allocated to them in that document, starting with their personnel, overhead, and the capital. After which, we are expecting the report back from the 15th of January to the 18th of January. And from there, collation and tidying up of the document will commence with the Committee on Appropriation.
As you have seen the committee chairman here, we had the discussions in terms of budget defense. We are commencing from tomorrow to 17th of this month, and we are expecting that all the MDAs, both the ministers and head of agencies, to come up to defend their budget. That's the essence of budget defense now. They are coming, we'll ask them questions. If we are comfortable, we can allocate the money. If not, we can do otherwise.
According to the timetable, the lawmakers apparently have just under 3 weeks to finalize the budget process. The lawmakers are planning to suspend plenary upon resumption from the Yuletide holiday to give committees time to conclude work on the budget.
As you're all aware, the time frame is short, but we have no choice than to work hard. And that is why I must thank all my colleagues who have agreed with us to shelve their holiday. And we will do that with all vigor and ensure that all that needs to be done on this document must be done. Senate will definitely, in their wisdom, give 2 weeks break. So the 31st of January is a tentative date to guide our workings. If there is need for us that the budget be extended beyond 31st before eventual passage, we will not hesitate to do that.
The Senate meeting then proceeds into a closed-door session to finalize strategies for a timely passage of the 2025 budget. From the National Assembly, Gloria Mezoke, Channels Television News.
And on to security now. We continue to await the report of inquiry set up by the Defense Headquarters into the raid on a military base in Sabankeri, Borno State by terrorists said to be linked to the Islamic State West Africa province, ISWAP. The Director of Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, in a response to Channels Television, had confirmed that the troops suffered setbacks in the area, but did not confirm casualty figures. The AFP had also earlier reported that the terrorists linked to ISWAP killed 6 soldiers in the raid at the military base. AFP quoting 2 unnamed military officers says that the terrorists launched a pre-dawn attack in trucks and on motorcycles on the base in Sabongeri in Borno State's Damboa district. The terrorists are reported to have set fire to the base along with army vehicles, allegedly killing the 6 soldiers in the process. Fighter jets deployed from Maiduguri, the state capital, reportedly struck the terrorists as they retreated, resulting in multiple militant fatalities, the destruction of operational vehicles and their weaponry. Well, let's now bring you images from the scene of the explosion that rocked the Sangaya Sani Uthman Islamia School in Kuchibuyi village in Biazin area of Abuja on Monday. Images captured by Channels Television in the aftermath showed the area cordoned off with clothes strewn across a floor in a classroom. 2 persons were confirmed dead, while others were injured in the incident. And the owner of the school has also been taken into custody for questioning, and further findings said to or will be communicated in due course. That's according to the police. The FCT Commissioner of Police, Olatunji Disu, is urging members of the public to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activity, behavior, or items. Now, as 2025 hits full swing, Rivers politics did not seem to take a breather. And barely days into the new year, the brickbat continued, with former governor and FCT minister Nyesom Wike taking aim at his predecessor, Dr. Peter Odili, in response to an earlier comment. Now, while the 2025 budget is also a bone of contention, a court judgment then emerged, giving Governor Siminalayi Fubara the go-ahead to transact business with 3-member house headed by Victor Okojumbo. Will Rivers politics slow down in 2025 in the spirit of a new year? That's a big question, because you have the State Assembly led by Martin Amiwole asking the state governor to represent the budget, and there's also the other political intrigues playing out in that state. So let's get right into it and sort of get a sense of how far we have come regarding Rivers politics. We're joined on the program by former AAC Rivers gubernatorial candidate, Mr. Joseph Obele, as well as former House of Representatives member, Mr. Emmanuel Dia. Gentlemen, welcome to Lunchtime Politics. Let me begin with you, Honorable Dia, and I just want to get your reaction first to the court ruling that emerged, giving Governor Fubara the go-ahead to, well, transact the business of governance with the State Assembly headed, the 3-member State Assembly headed by Victor Okojumbo. How do you respond to that? It just came like an unexpected bolt, so I imagine you've had time to look at it and respond at least.
Thank you for having me. Well, I'm not lying, but I think the understanding is that there are 3 tiers: the Court of First Instance, the Court of Appeal, and then the Supreme Court. Now, there is already a judgment of the Court of Appeal asking the governor of Rivers State to represent his budget to the Rivers State House of Assembly. Now, this is a court, Rivers State High Court, not even a federal high court, now saying that the governor can go ahead and present his budget to. So it's absurd. I don't understand the basis, the strength that this judge has, or where he's coming from. And it's strange that there is a judgment of the Court of Appeal saying don't present, go and present your budget to Amewule-led Rivers State House of Assembly. And then somebody comes to say, no, we can deal with only 3 persons. So it beats my imagination. I can't understand where it's coming from. I don't understand the basis. And if we are even talking about democracy, democracy is about the people, it's about representation. Where you have 32 members, 31 now, because we lost one of them. 27 and somewhere, a court of competent jurisdiction has said go and represent? Why still go back to 3 persons? And let's even go back to the issue of the assembly. I was in the House of Assembly in Rivers State, 1992-93. And Parliament is a place of ceremony. You cannot elect a speaker behind closed doors. Or even when you do that, there must be a nomination, a secondment, and voting. When was this speaker that is being referred to all the time, Okojumbo speaker, when was he elected? Who were those who elected him? So I can't understand where we are in this matter. It's just strange the way they're acting. It's like drama, like we are playing. Even the Court of Appeal said, this is a joke taken too far. I don't understand if this would learn anything from what has happened in the past. So that's all I have to say at this point.
Let me give you some excerpts, Honorable Dia, from the document which has emerged from that particular proceeding. And I'll just take some part of the order that was given. And this is part of what the judge said. It says that the same way His Excellency Ezenwo Wike presented budgets and financial bills with only 6 members, when the numbers were less than 2/3 of the 32 members, so shall His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara, the Governor of Rivers State, be constitutionally guided to interface and approach the properly constituted House of Victor Okojumbo to carry on business of a state until lawmakers, that's the 27 lawmakers whom the judge says defected and lost their seats, approach the court for a redemption. So this is a judge considering some of the evidence tendered, saying, well, this has happened before, so why not happen again now?
Well, there's something that we must all learn. We are humans. I don't know when this happened actually, but from what you're reading, it's like he's personalizing Rivers State to Wike. Wike is not Rivers State. Rivers State is not Wike. And if that happened, which was not proper, I don't know if it was challenged in court, he should not even bring it up here at this point. So is he now saying that the judgment, not the ruling of the Court of Appeal, is of no effect? And what that judge, if I read him well, was saying was that until the Supreme Court, so he recognizes that there is a judgment of the Court of Appeal, so he's waiting for the Supreme Court. And it's so funny how, somebody can do this kind of thing at the level where we are. Let me say something here. Politics, I can come out from my village, even without education, and I'm popular. If I have the requisite qualifications, I'll be elected. But to be a judge, you have to have some training, basic in university, in law school, and even so. I think that their decisions, their interventions should be that to improve society. We should learn from what has happened in the past and make corrections where mistakes were made. So I don't understand when we submitted his budget with 6 persons or whatever. I can't remember exactly, so I can't speak to that at the moment. But I think that it is wrong. It is completely wrong. It is a wrong precedent.
Well, it's quite interesting because looking at those court documents, said again, just the last or second to last page, said that the Learned Senior Counsel Lawrence Okojaja, SAN, the hearing on, I think, the 11th of December, tendered documents which this court perused and concluded that the Rivers State House of Assembly between December 2015 and February 2017 comprised of only 6 members, with Honorable Adams Dabotorudima as a speaker, transacted business with the executive governor at that time, Chief Barrister Ezenwo Wike. That's from the court documents, since you asked for the timeline. But it's a very interesting development. We'll go on a quick break now. When we return, I'll get your response to that. And of course, we'll also bring in our other guest, Mr. Joseph Obele, to weigh in on these issues. Please stay with us. back to the program. We're still talking Rivers State politics, not taking a breather, unlike what we saw during the Yuletide. So, still have with us Honorable Emmanuel Dia, former House of Reps member, also former commissioner, and Rivers State, also been in the State Assembly, as well as Mr. Joseph Obele, former AAC Rivers gubernatorial candidate. Gentlemen, thank you for staying with us on the show. So I'll come to you, Mr. Dia, now. You've listened to some of the things that Mr. Obele now. You've listened to some of the things that Honorable Dia spoke about. He raised questions about this particular court ruling, saying whatever happened to the appeal court ruling anyway. So when you look at all of these issues, what do you make of it yourself?
Let it be on record that in Rivers State, we don't have executive governor of Rivers State. We just have only one governor for Rivers State.
Well, Mr. Obele, seems to be a lot of conversation happening around you. I imagine it's all about politics as well, but that's stopping us from hearing you very well. So perhaps you might want to speak to the people around you so we can get your responses through in a clear manner. So, Mr. Obele. All right, we'll come back to Mr. Obele. But Mr. Dia, when you asked about the timeline, particularly when the court says, well, the former governor dealt with 6 members, so why not have this current governor do the same? And seeing that the court says between 2015 and 2017, has that sort of cleared your doubts about the process and then the eventual pronouncement?
It's an abnormal situation. But the other thing is, was this particular position challenged in court? Because I know of what we are used to, the 11th commandment. You know, the first one, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do that. But thou shalt not be caught. Until you are caught, you can do all of those things. So did anybody take Wike or the government at that time to court? Because until there is a court judgment, because between you and I, we can say things, and or somebody can do something, and it is not in my place to say you have done wrong. I'll approach the court of competent jurisdiction to say, I think this person has done wrong, and I'll prove it in court. It is when the court says they have done wrong that it becomes wrong. Otherwise, I will accuse you, you will accuse me, I will continue accusing and accusing each other.
So do you doubt, pardon me, so do you then cast doubt on the veracity of the court, the judge, and by extension, this particular ruling from the state?
I strongly do. Let me say again that, you see, we are humans. We improve every day. Before this time, there was no television. When television came, there was a kind of television that we're using, and there's improvement every day. The essence of this is because we are learning from our environment and making improvements on them. Now, if this thing happened in the past, which is abnormal, you do not come back now, years after, to still institute the same thing because you are agreed or because you feel this.
All right, Honorable Dia. Let's try to bring in Mr. Obele yet again, but I wanted to just get something clear quickly. Was the Martin Amiwole group or any of the parties on the side of a former governor, were they joined in this suit? Because the claimant in this suit is the registered trustees of Association of Legislative Drafting and Advocacy Practitioners. Are you aware of that group?
I'm not aware, so I can't say. I don't.
All right. So let's go over to Mr. Obele and just try one more time. Well, Mr. Obele, over to you now. You might start with the point I asked. The claimant here in this court case, the registered trustees of Association of Legislative Drafting and Advocacy Practitioners, who took the government, the governor, and the Attorney General of Rivers State to court over this. Are they on your side?
Okay, let it be on record that most persons are describing this claimant as good and saying the body of such did not really exist, but they do exist in Rivers State. And also, I want to state that most of the decisions of the executive governor of Rivers State are born out of the principles of necessity, because governance have to be running and there need to be leadership for the civil servant and the people of Rivers State, for the development of Rivers State. So the issue where a court will stampede the people of Rivers State and the governor of Rivers State was totally unacceptable by the people of Rivers State. So hence, such a body has gone to court and the ruling has been given, and the governor will really have to adhere strictly to the ruling of the governor. Is a law.
All right, Mr. Billy, I'll need you to do one more thing for me. It looks like your television set is on, so I keep hearing some sort of feedback right there. So please, you might want to turn it off. So again, we can have this conversation because it's a very important conversation, right? So perhaps you can help do that, and then you can continue on your trail of thoughts. But the point you wanted to put on record about the claimant in this case, are you saying that this group does not exist, or this group indeed exists, and that you are aware of this group?
I'm saying there's a group of stores that are not good, and they are the sons and daughters of Rivers State that have the interest of Rivers State at heart, and hence they take it upon themselves to challenge.
So they didn't go to court on behalf of the Martin Amiwule group. They just went to court for the good of governance. Is that what you're saying?
They went to court for the interest of the people of Rivers State, and their position is the position of the entire people of Rivers State, just far from the group of the individuals in question. The entire people of Rivers State support that position, that government shouldn't be stampeded, government shouldn't be strangulated, that there should be governance and development to the people of Rivers. And that can only be given when the budget has been passed into law by the presiding assembly under the speaker of Honorable Okun Jumbo, and it has been done. So we thank God for the people of Rivers State are progressing, and the people of Rivers State are happy for the leadership style of Sasimila Ifubara. Hence, we can see that the IGRO is growing, and the security of Rivers State has been given to a great degree to be peaceful, and businesses are waxing stronger in Rivers State, and investors also are trooping into Rivers State. So people of Rivers State, the GDP of Rivers State is even a good indicator for the development in Rivers State. Things are doing well in Rivers State under the government.
Well, I know you're aware that there are a lot of people who would object to that. First, the matter in court, or this case we're talking about, there are issues that will be raised about locus standi of the claimant and all of the processes, but I guess that is for the judiciary to look into. But let's quickly wind down, Mr. Dia. For Mr. Obele, he says that things are going well. Let's talk about IGR, infrastructure, and the rest. At least on the final note, is that something both of you agree on? Do you agree on that?
Let me say this. I don't know his experience or his background. I have been in government. I was first elected a legislator at the state level. I was majority leader, I was deputy speaker. So when it comes to running the house, I had that experience. I became a commissioner for 4 years before I went to Abuja, to the House of Representatives. Government is not what we do in our houses. Government is, done on precepts and laws. The last time I heard the use of the word doctrine of necessity was when the late President Yaradua died. I was in the House of Representatives then. And there was no legal framework to hand over to the vice president. So we did that. And in doing so, we spoke to one another on the need for the government to continue.
Right.
So in this case, there are processes, options open, choices, but the governor has refused to take it. Maybe based on this kind of advice, there's somebody who is talking from his kitchen.
Well, Honorable Zia.
From the way he runs his household.
Yes. Well, I really get the point you're making, and it looks like a resolution is not in sight just yet, judging by the cases in court and the back and forths that we've seen. But we have to thank you for your time. We're speaking with Honorable Emmanuel Dia, former House of Reps member, has been in the State Assembly and the Cabinet, as well as Mr. Joseph Obele, former AAC Rivers gubernatorial candidate. Thank you for your time, and we wish Rivers State the very best. Let's bring you breaking news now, and this is from Ghana, where John Mahama has been sworn in for a second term as president of the country, with a promise to defend and protect the Republic of Ghana. At least 21 heads of state, including Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu and Kenya's President William Ruto, are present at the inauguration ceremony in the capital, Accra. Vice President Professor Jane Opoku-Agyemang has also been sworn in, making history as Ghana's first female president. Mr. Mahama faces a mandate to tackle familiar challenges, including corruption, high unemployment, inflation, and public discontent. The 66-year-old opposition leader won the December 7th presidential election by a wide margin to stage a political comeback in the West African nation. And back home, the ruling All Progressives Congress APC and the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, have been engaged in a war of words over Mr. Obi's New Year message. Well, in a post on X, Mr. Obi had raised the alarm, saying the message, which he put out on New Year's Day, has attracted threats to his life, one of which he says came from APC spokesperson Mr. Felix Moka. However, the APC in a response, also on X, has described Mr. Obi's statement as false and malicious. Mr. Obi, in his New Year message, had lamented the political, economic and security situation in the country, saying that the situation of Nigeria is worsening daily despite government's contrary positions and claims of improvement in different spheres of human endeavor. Well, there you have it. That's Lunchtime Politics for this afternoon. Thank you for watching. I'm Kayode Okikulu. Goodbye.